2022. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa, welcoming you warmly to our lunchtime news today. In what we have for you this afternoon, the Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje, has congratulated the National Water and Sewage Corporation on their milestone of 50 years of existence and asked the corporation to continue improving their services to Ugandans. This was during a dua prayers which he led at the offices of the corporation as they prepare to celebrate the Golden Jubilee.
As National Water and Sewage Corporation prepares to celebrate 50 years of service to Ugandans, the corporation is carrying out different events towards the D-Day for the celebrations come 2nd December 2022. Among the events were dua prayers led by Mufti of Uganda Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje at the corporation's office in Bugorobi, Kampala, where Mufti commended National Water and Sewage Corporation for its services towards Ugandans during the 50 years.
Allah has declared water as a basis and origin of life when he said in the Holy Quran, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ, that we have made from water every living thing. I congratulate you. May God bless you so that you serve the people of God.
Mufti, however, asked the National Water and Sewage Corporation to improve on its services, especially in line with water billing or measurements.
Just try to adjust yourself according to the meter reading. But with the water, it is not there. This is a humble request. I think it is practicable, applicable elsewhere, that you just pay prepaid sort of mode. This one will save.
The Chairman Board of Directors, National Water and Sewage Corporation, Engineer Badly Chugundu, thanked Ugandans for the support towards the corporation in seeing it this far.
It's not easy to survive, but we have survived. And we're very proud as an institution that during the last hardest 2 years that Uganda has ever seen, when we had blockade, the COVID-19 period, we did not lay off a single employee. Neither did we fail to pay the salary for any employee and on time.
In attendance was the Manager, National Water and Sewage Corporation, Kampala, Haj Mahmoud Lutaya, the Deputy Managing Director, National Water and Sewage Corporation, Engineer Jonison Amayo, who said that the corporation is aiming at leading service delivery in the country.
We shall be unveiling a number of projects which National Water has undertaken in the last 3 years, and we shall also be unveiling projects which are ongoing and those which we plan.
The main event of National Water and Sewage Corporation at 50 will be held on 2nd December 2022 at Kololo Independence Grounds, and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is expected to be the guest of honor. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugode, UBC News.
State Minister for Northern Uganda, Grace Freedom Kuyichenyi, has applauded the contribution of the church in fostering development in the country. Kuyichenyi said the government and the church are inseparable and pledged more support to all churches. This was while she was representing Prime Minister Robin Nabanja during a fundraising of the PAG Worship Center in Lira, and she warned churches against wrangles.
The Minister of State for Northern Uganda, Grace Freedom Kuyichenyi, was in Lira to officiate the fundraising for the construction of PAG Worship Center.
This is on behalf of the Right Honorable Prime Minister.
She unveiled a plaque on behalf of the Prime Minister, Robin Nabanja.
I take the message back to her and say, I was here, and the plaque I opened bore her name.
Kuyichenyi applauded the contribution of the church in development and pledged more support for all churches.
But for some time we didn't have enough funds, but now I have started it again to reach out to the church. When I reach the church, I know I'm helping the community members. I know it is the community which contributes to the church, which builds the church, which keeps the unity in the church. And so through the church, we can pass information on government policies.
However, with the emerging leadership wrangles in churches and mosques, the minister urged the servants of God to embrace dialogue to settle their disputes.
Whether it is a church, whether it is a family, whether it is a political system, so long as you have conflict, you are doomed. You are ruining yourself, your future, you are ruining prospects of development. So I would really think that we should minimize conflict as much as possible.
Some people preaching the gospel.
For close to a decade now, PAG Mission in Lira Pastorate was pushed out of their worship centers by the breakaway group now called Yahweh Pentecostal Mission.
Part of our vision is to reclaim back the properties that are in the hands of the breakaway group. We are not so much doing this in a hurry because godly things are done in a godly way. What we are after is still to maintain the relationship, the fraternity that we have with our brothers who are broken away from us. We don't want to do this thing in a destructive way, which will actually, instead of doing good, will cause more problems.
PAG Worship Center is currently looking for 2.3 billion shillings to complete their magnificent place of worship in Lira City. Bishop of PAG Lira Pastorate Silvana Sogwal says the initiative is part of the bigger plan to establish 50 distinctive urban assemblies throughout the country.
Of course, we are appealing for some more contribution. 2.3 to 2.5 billion shilling is not little money. It's much money. And any other person who feels touched to give a hand towards this construction, the giving is highly welcome.
When completed, the church is expected to accommodate about 900 worshippers with an extension of 600 Sunday school children.
That is about 52% of the entire plot.
Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
State Minister for Local Government, Victoria Businge Rusoke, has said that the strategy by the President to start Rengaju Parish model should not be underestimated. Victoria Rusoke made the remarks while hosting the Water and Environment Minister Aisha Sekindi in Rengaju.
The State Minister for Local Government, Victoria Businge Rusoke, and for Water and Environment, Aisha Sekindi, have toured Rengaju Model Parish. Local Government Minister Victoria Rusoke informed the Water Minister that her office had received reports on how most farmers in the Model Parish were not benefiting from the water for production.
The President, during his visit and establishment of how development is going on, economic development in the country, visited Cameroon. When he visited Cameroon, he requested the chairperson, LOC5, to choose where to take him so that he can get an idea of what is happening.
Rusoke also said that other facilities, especially the sprinklers, were non-functional and that the flow of water was on and off, which affects the all-year-round production.
Is that the sprinklers are not everywhere. If they are lights, I'm going to discover. I have my eyes, I have my camera. I'm going to go, you are going to provide me the list, which you get the minister, and you walk with my 2 feet, and then you find out if the sprinklers were part of the project, if they are there, if they are not, if they were less, what next. Mine is the fact-finding mission, transparently, without trying to punish anybody.
She explained that the President's intent of extending water for production to farmers of Rengaju was to ensure farmers double their productivity.
That the scheme design was not followed. I want you to get me extremely clear. You are not the designer, she's not the designer, she's not the designer, I'm not the designer. We are going to place the design. Was it done the way it was supposed to do? If not, why? If not, who is in the wrong? Was there time for adjustment? Was adjustment allowed? What caused it what? So that we get to know.
The minister was, however, shocked to learn that some residents are instead using the water for production, for drinking and other domestic purposes. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
4 health centers 4 health centers in the districts of Chikube, Chibale, Kasese and Chegegwa are set to benefit from the solar energy courtesy of Environment Alert, a non-government organization. It is hoped that the provision of the solar energy for the health facilities will improve health service delivery, since the selected facilities are located in hard-to-reach sub-counties.
Selected health centers located in hard-to-reach sub-counties in the 4 districts of Chikube, Chibale, Kasese and Chegegwa are set to benefit from solar energy courtesy of Environment Alert. Solar energy will be provided under the supporting health centers in hard-to-reach areas in Uganda that are faced with energy limitations project to improve the provision of health services.
When the solar system is installed and energy needs are met, especially in terms of lighting, in terms of maybe refrigeration for the vaccines, for the maternity ward that is going to be of major focus, then women will be able to access this place. They will know that they can reach out and the health workers will be able to receive them even at night, because I mean those are eventualities. No one will know when labor will be coming to them for delivery, so they will be able to access. We believe that with this installation, the health workers will be able to charge their phones and be able to have batteries, so that eases communication.
The administrators of the benefiting health facilities are optimistic that the provision of solar energy will ease the provision of services to the communities that they serve.
If we had enough lights, maybe the number of deliveries that we have could be more. So we have a challenge of light, whereby sometimes midwives perform deliveries on torches, which isn't good, and it limits the service delivery. So I think by coming of Environmental Alert, services are going to be improved, because light is something, it is a vital resource that we need.
We have been using torches, which has made our work very hard and difficult, and putting these mothers and the other patients at risk of bigger complications, like you may not clearly observe or examine what exactly it is.
Environment Alert is also supporting these health centers with infection prevention and control materials like jik, liquid soap, bar soap and cleaning brushes. The village health teams are also trained and supplied with teaching materials that have information on household disease control, how to care for expectant mothers, feeding of young children, and general information on how an ideal homestead should be like.
When we raise awareness of these communities, as you've seen, it's been hard for you to come and visit the health centers. That means that communities themselves, it's hard to get information on availability of health services. But when they're informed on the dangers of COVID-19, for example, dangers of the recent outbreak, Ebola, they can protect themselves. You can see the IECs we have given them have some detailed information on how to protect themselves against those diseases.
However, communities in Chikube and Chibale districts are facing a challenge of poor access roads.
Now, for example, this Chakare sub-county is a new administrative unit, but it is operational. But of course, the government has not yet allocated road fund to our sub-county, so we don't have money to work upon the roads. Secondly, we are not able to fund our roads in as far as our budgeting is concerned.
They're now calling on government to upgrade the access roads at least to first-class maram.
Shincheonji Church of Jesus has graduated over 1,000 from Zion Christian Mission Center, Korea, to spread the word of God worldwide. The celebration was held at Daegu Stadium, and the head of Zion Christ Mission in Yongjin was commended for producing the largest amount of graduates.
520 pastors, including 37 in Korea and 485 overseas, have graduated from Chichanji Church of Jesus and are expected to spread the word of God worldwide. Chichanji Church of Jesus focuses on revitalization of the local economy and coexistence with the local residents.
Yes, we thank you so much for watching. Let's take a short break. On return, we have more.
MTN presents Tugende Muchika Day at Kampala Serena Hotel on Saturday, 3rd December 2022. Standard tickets go for 100k, gold 300k, and 3 million for platinum. Pay 90,000 shillings if you pay using MTN mobile money. Remember, this is only applicable to ordinary tickets. Featuring Eddie Away, Chance Nalubega, Sweet Kid, Kabiye Semboga, Akiki Romeo, Betty Pologoma, Ziggy D, Lady Mariam, Tina Tine, Abdumulasi, and featuring Makeup Band. All this at Kampala Serena Hotel. For reservations, call 0785-961-910. Dress code Retro Style. Sponsored by Elderly Network Foundation, Coca-Cola, Al Breweries Limited, Kadanke, and MTN.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Get value for your money by choosing the right paint. With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weathercoat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss, and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
It's better to foster respect instead of fear and pain.
Cause a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Ladies and gentlemen, Livingston brings you Bera the Genesis concert. On 26th November 2022 at Kololo Airstrip. Come and celebrate gospel music as we take you through the Genesis, featuring ordinary tickets at 20,000 shillings, VIP tickets at 50,000 shillings, and a table of 10 at 2 million shillings. And the first 1,000 people who will buy a ticket via MTN mobile money will get a discount of 5,000 shillings on each. Don't forget, people with disabilities enter for free. Livingston Live in Bera the Genesis concert is brought to you by Plascon, Fenon, Coca-Cola, Maestro Studios, UNCC, Tres Gospel, Design Consult, Diesel Money, and MTN.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that there are confirmed cases of Ebola in Uganda. We, however, urge the public not to panic as the situation is being managed. The Ministry of Health further reminds the public to be on the lookout for any persons who may show signs and symptoms of Ebola. These include high body temperature, abdominal pains, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding from the body openings such as the nose, eyes, and mouth. Please inform the nearest health worker immediately if you see anyone with these signs and symptoms. To prevent Ebola from spreading further, please take the following preventive measures: regular washing of hands with water and soap, avoid handshaking and hugging, avoiding any contact with any suspected Ebola patients. Any person who dies suddenly should not be buried but reported to the nearest health worker or LC1 immediately. For further information, please call the Ministry of Health toll-free number on 0800-100-066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and World Health Organization.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you? Hey,
Kasos, my brother, long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it? Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. It's UBC Lunchtime News. Following President Yoweri Museveni's insight into the use of electrical cars, leading car manufacturers Toyota are taking up the trend with the introduction of an eco-friendly affordable car product on the East African market. Toyota Rumion and Toyota Belter were the new inclusions of modern cars that are pocket-friendly.
So these are not electric cars. These are still petrol cars, but yes, they are fuel efficient. So we're trying to promote this to every Ugandan, the business people, individuals, family people, to adopt this culture. And we have also partners, NCBA, who make it even more affordable. That at as low as 5% of the car value, which you pay and start driving the car, you then get to pay the rest of, the 95%, which is the balance of a period of 6 years. The car is not very heavy for you in terms of, financing. We do this because we know people have very many needs and they have to take care of, school fees, rent and all that. So we say you can have a brand new car in an affordable manner. You can finance it over a period of time. This is the biggest deal so far on the market, 95% financing between NCB and Sifao Motors.
The favorable investment climate in Uganda has attracted many investors in the country engaged in various ventures. During the just concluded Afro-Indian Business Summit, many Indians displayed their innovations, some of which were commended by the head of state. We spoke to some of them on how progressive their undertakings have been.
Seen displayed here are tracking devices for various purposes. They are just a sample of products from Let's Talk Technologies. They were here as part of the just ended Afro-India Business Summit. Explaining to bystanders how the devices work is Shahid Jemani, the director of the farm.
If you have something that you're carrying valuable, or for the simple fact that your son has gone for a picnic for 3 days and as a worried parent you want to know where he is, let him have this, let him keep this in the bag. You can track him exactly.
The devices are also meant to reduce on criminality and fraud, with fuel consumption in vehicles closely monitored upon installation.
In today's time, especially when the fuel prices are so high, it becomes very expensive, and with the competition, the margins have shrunk. So the biggest challenge is how to control your fuel costs. So we have this, what we do is we have digital fuel sensors. So this gives us a 98.5% accuracy in fuel tracking.
It is just one of the exhibitions that the President of Uganda had a stopover as he headed to open the Afro-India Business Summit. The innovation was appreciated for having no limit on distance in response to emergencies.
We have a tie-up with Vodafone Europe, and we are using international SIM cards to track internationally throughout Africa.
Just next to this was a MAF farm, the producers and processors of macadamia nut tree products. They were also here to display their products, which the head of state equally appreciated.
Where we take the farmers through the all production level interventions, like how they can improve and enhance the soil health, how they can consolidate the soil microbiology, and how they can adapt the good agriculture practices.
Safe, sustainable and nutritional food is the right of every Ugandan, and we can only ensure this by promoting high value horticulture crops like macadamia.
The products said to be nutritious and healthy for human consumption originate from Mityana, where macadamia nut tree is grown.
Our macadamia contains 70 to 75% oil. And over here we can see the oil. Oil you can use for either frying or you can also use as beauty product.
The exhibition did not leave out Ugandans, with some pitching for agro-tourism in Nagalama on Kampala-Kayunga Road. Mutatina Simple is a proprietor of Assist Limited, an undertaking seeking to boost agro-tourism on 90 acres of land.
And we have put a demonstration farm of 30 acres of coffee. That means we are trying to promote Ugandan coffee in the entire world. So the moment we get tourists, they can tour our farm, they have nature walk, they have bird viewing, natural other animals and different species of plants.
At the end of the two-day event, both President Yoweri Museveni and Vice President Jessica Alupo appreciated Indian economic presence in Uganda. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Uganda's rapid financial inclusion agenda is only possible through improved accessibility, affordability, and availability of affordable financial services. This was observed by stakeholders at the 2022 Digital Impact Awards. The event sought to celebrate and reward public and private sector efforts that are geared towards enhancing financial inclusion.
We have about 86%.
The 9th edition of the Digital Impact Awards Africa is a huge milestone to the organizers. According to High People, Chief Operations Officer, Uganda's digital and financial inclusion journey is one that has a lot of success stories and setbacks.
But we are happy that 10 years ago there was mobile money coming up. Now people are using digital wallets, people are using digital banking, internet connectivity has improved among other things. So such events celebrate and appreciate the progress we have made, but also give people an open platform to discuss the challenges available and how such challenges can be solved.
Although the internet connectivity and smartphone usage has grown exponentially in the last decade, rapid digitization and financial inclusion has not moved at the same pace due to many barriers, and among them is segregation of women.
That segregation of what is supposed to be the men's world and the women's world, what women are supposed to do and what men are supposed to do. And whereas we've talked, we've had all these conferences all over the world, that stereotyping continues. So you find that in every sector, the women are faced with such challenges that they have to fight to prove that they can. And yet at the end of the day, they are still trying to balance like everybody else to make the ends meet.
Other impeding factors cited by sector players include internet service providers' failure to collaborate and lack of harmonized financial data systems that can be leveraged on to provide affordable loans.
And then also we do have MTN or Airtel, all these mobile networks that have your phone number. So these are 5 data points that can specifically identify who Damalisali is. And these data points can now be used by the bank to say we actually know who Damalisali is. She's low risk because she has all these 5 data points. And because she's low risk, I don't need to ask her to go get an LC letter, bring me bank statements, find the business plans. I can actually still advance her a loan as quickly as a money lender does, as long as those data points are available. But to be able to do that as a bank or any other person, these players with this data have to share it. They have to interface their systems so that they share this data.
At the event, several companies and organizations were awarded for driving Uganda's digitization and financial inclusion agenda. They include MTN Uganda, Airtel, National Social Security Fund for their High Innovator Program, and Standard Chartered Bank. Dennis Igor for UBC Business.
On the 28th of January 2022, Mugweri Regan woke up on a normal day not knowing what was lying ahead of him. Little did he know that his life was to totally change. Mugweri, a Ugandan youth aged 26 years, a resident of Njeru town, Buyikwe district, was riding a work motorcycle from visiting a family through his church ministry, and this is how he ended up.
A Seventh-day Adventist by faith, Mugweri had studied theology and was preaching in the areas of Jinja. On a fateful night, about 7 p.m., Mugweri was involved in a car crash.
Many things that happened on that day, most of them I just glorify God over it because it was God's mercy to be alive till now.
He was hit by a Sino truck on Nyenda Road on Jinja Highway. It is said the truck entered the road without stopping and in full beam that blinded Regan to see well. Before long, he was crushed. In his narrative, Regan says the driver reversed to finish him off since he was still conscious. There was no help at the crash scene.
It was something terrible in just a minute, in just a second. I just see had passed. I'd already struck the Sino truck. When I struck it, I didn't immediately know whether I had got an accident or I had broken. I knew that I had got, but my brain was still in that dilemma of not understanding anything. What then happened by that time, I forced myself to stand up, to see whether I can move, to go and pick the motorcycle, so that I can see how to move, go home or go to the nearest hospital to see how I can deal with it.
Regan was thereafter picked up by a friend who was about 300 meters away. Regan was rushed to St. James Hospital for treatment, and by the time he arrived at the hospital, he was unconscious. With blood group O, his operation delayed due to lack of blood for transfusion, and in the operation, he lost his lower limb.
On the way, I felt 5 black outs to Jinja, to St. James, where the hospital was. Reaching the hospital, it was something not the thing. The doctor had just went out of the hospital. Then they called him, he came.
Regan had planned a wedding with his fiancée in 5 months, but couldn't go on with the plans. The hospital bills were too much for him, and the commuting to Kosu, where the operation had been done, was another hassle. After the amputation, the healing process took about 3 months. When Regan visited Kosu again in Chisubi for rehabilitative services, he was identified as a needy patient for rehabilitative support.
We work with hospitals and civil society organizations to identify road traffic crash victims that need support. So we put in a request in several hospitals in Kampala, and one of them went to Kosu Hospital, and we requested that because they do rehabilitative services, we requested that if they can identify an individual who needs help, then they should alert us.
Being a pastor under the SDA church, Regan had been supported by the church members. He currently resides in Nyenda SDA Church. Regan acquired a sweater sewing machine, and in his free time he tries to make a few sweaters for his survival. Fortunately, Regan can walk again thanks to the prosthetic limb acquired by Nile Breweries through Africa Consult Usarama, an agency that works on safety.
And this time around we have a 26-year-old young man who stays in Njeru, who we have supported with assistive devices. His story is very interesting. We are looking at where the incident happened. It should be one of the highways that has high fatalities. And he did qualify because Jinja Highway, Kampala Jinja Highway also has high fatalities. So he was fitting. We're also looking at breadwinners. For example, he's a male, could be having some responsibilities.
As the world marks the World Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims, Reagan is lucky to survive. In the new road safety campaign, Ondaba, Nile Breweries has injected 150 million Uganda shillings to this cause.
And what our call for action here is, we want to appeal to every road user. Can you be aware of each and everyone else who is using the road? For example, motorcyclists, be aware of the drivers, be aware of the pedestrians who are vulnerable on the road. So this is our campaign this year, and we are focusing on increasing awareness. We are focusing on preventing accidents on the road. And this stems from our global ambition to reduce, to contribute to the UN Road Safety Decade for Action.
This campaign will focus on sensitizing road users and equipping them with safety items. At Impigi Health Center, Nile Breweries has also refurbished the emergency ward, as well as equipping the facilities to accommodate more accident victims. Statistics indicate higher road carnage during the festive season. That's why police, Ministry of Works and the private sector like Nile Breweries
And that brings us to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. On behalf of UBC TV Newsroom, we thank you so much for watching. We'll be here still with more bulletins in the evening. We may have interruptions due to the World Cup, but still, we'll have news as usual. Enjoy the rest of the day and the week. Bye-bye for now.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
Get away with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
This month, we meet a football veteran recording the history of the game in Qatar. We get to know one of Qatar's most ardent football fans. And we reminisce over the career of Cameroon's former star Samuel Eto'o and hear his views of Qatar on and off the pitch. Cameroon's Samuel Eto'o is amongst the very best African stars who've graced the FIFA World Cup. Having appeared in 4